Hello. Ooh, I can't hear myself. Hold on. Can I hear myself now? Yes. Hello, welcome to another stream, an impromptu stream. I did announce it a little bit earlier, but I don't usually stream on a Sunday. But here I am. I have adjusted some stuff on the stream UI, so things should look a little bit different. Hopefully a little bit more consistent and less noisy. I still don't have the green screening on this portrait, but unfortunately I'm not going to have that for like a month and a half, I think. Okay, so I said I wanted to work on the Inertia app, and I do actually want to work on that app. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be streaming for. I kind of feel like I want to try and do a slightly longer stream. Depends how the dev of the Inertia app goes. Oh, that's not... Why is that the config thing? Why is it launching in Chrome? That's terrible. Hold on. So someone commented last week that the console size was a bit small, so I just want to adjust the default size there. If I go to settings, what's my font size? 24. So what is this? Heh. Go. Okay. So we're going to start this up again. We are listening to the Legacy of the Void StarCraft 2 soundtrack. I love the game, and the soundtrack's not bad either. Okay. So where did I put this IndieFin measure? In case you weren't here for the previous stream, I am working on a little app to log feedback for developers with the people that they work with. And I don't really want to go too much into the history behind that, but it's a thing that I want to build in Inertia, because I've got a talk coming up for Inertia that I have to give. Well, not just for Inertia, but for Livewire as well. So I'm building this out in Inertia. Now, where we got to last time was that I finished auth. So let me check that out again. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's put notifications off as well. Okay, so login is handled with Google and Socialite. So it should redirect me back to the app and then to the dashboard. And I've got this, all of this stuff running with shared data and a shared component. So the front end kind of looks like this. The main app entry point loads the Inertia app, and it resolves to components within the pages folder. I have a home page, which is just when you're logged out, that's what you see. I have a dashboard for when you're logged in. Structure of those is exactly the same. I have a reflect page, which is going to be where someone answers questions about their own progress throughout the 2 weeks or week between conversations. And then a give feedback page, which is where someone can give feedback about someone that they've worked with over that time. So that's where that is. Oh, so many windows open. Okay. I kind of want to apply some styling to this off the bat, because it's not styled at the moment. So Inertia apps have one main entry file like this. What I'll do is I'll go to Grow, which is the sister app to this, which we're also using for feedback at Indie. And I will look at how that project imports Tailwind. So I've got a config here. Okay, So I'm bringing Tailwind in through package.json. Like that. And then I'm probably bringing it in through the Sass file, which is actually a post CSS file. I want to actually want to take all of these things and I want to change this to a post CSS file, not a Sass file. Not really sure why it's like that, but anyway. Okay, I prefer post CSS because this lets me this highlights properly, and because I also use post CSS processors, which I will show you in just a second. Okay, so I should have a post CSS config here. Maybe it's just in Tailwind. Nope. Webpack, what am I doing here? I'll take this stuff as well. Okay, so I'll just extract this. And this is a React, not a JS. Okay. And then I need to install these as well. Oh, and then I also need to do an npm. It's not an npm. So I want to create the Tailwind config for this version of Tailwind, which I'll do once this is finished installing. Boop 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 boop. Oh, it's not dash dash init, it's just init. Okay, so when you install Tailwind, it makes a binary, the Tailwind binary in node modules.bin Tailwind, and you can call init on that, and that will create this config file, this mess over here. So let me just review what's in this Tailwind config. I extend the font family. I may do that again. I extend some variants. For now, I'm not going to put anything in that config. For now, I'm not going to put anything in there. Let's see what happens when we restart watch. Oh, we also need to change paths. Oh, fine. We don't actually. Go on then. So there's post CSS running. Ah, oh, this is super slow. Okay, now we should have a slightly different view of this. Great. Great. Okay, so we have some global text styles there. Nothing too intense. Let me give the nav some styling. So maybe some MB8, P. No. Nav A. PX4 PY2. Maybe a little bit more. I actually don't know. Maybe we just do P2. This is also... Ooh. This is also... so that's the actual size of it, right? But what I think is maybe happening is... So the links are actually breaking out here. Why is that? Border box. I'm gonna put some flex stuff on here. Flex row. Flex width full. Let's make this one line. I'm on the fence as to whether to do these each on their own apply line, but I think this is more in line with how Tailwind should be. The reason that I have this, actually, the reason I have any of it is because some of this content is styled with Markdown in Grow, but I don't know if I am styling that content with Markdown in Measure. So the best thing to do would actually be to put this in line in that navigation component. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then these in the links. I think that's best. I don't think it's best to have global content like this. I think a global link style is fine, because if I include links inside text anywhere, I do actually want, I always want links to have that. There shouldn't be a time when I don't want links to be that. So for now I think that's fine. Okay, log out, reflect, give feedback. I won't do icons just yet. But then we probably need a yeah, okay. I won't apply styling as yet to this area. But let's make this a little bit bigger. Do I want to? Maybe. What if we give the navigation a subtle background color? And then we have like a container. Oof, noise. The windows are open. Sorry if you hear noise from outside. It's just too hot in South Africa to be not having it. Okay, let's do a lot of margin at the bottom. I love lots of margin at the bottom. Let's do some padding. Oh, okay, and then we need to return, or actually import this. Maybe that nav can do with less bottom margin, because it does have the background and the padding inside the links to serve as a bit of a break there. I'll also make this slightly more noticeable, because I'm not sure what it looks like on your screen, but my screens typically have pretty bad contrast. So I'll make it like that. Maybe we can give the body, I keep on tabbing out that. Maybe we can give the body or the container a little bit more padding, like 4. That's a little bit better. And this should still be... What is that? Wrapping. Gross. Flex wrap. White space, no wrap. I wonder if that does the flex wrap, no wrap as well. Flex row, flex wrap. Whee! always do your layouts with mobile in mind. Always be doing this. It is so healthy for you to dev with that in mind from the get-go. Okay, logouts. We're not using the container there. I also want to do, not that. I also want to do a facade here. Export container from I'm going to do a facade here because this looks much better than two separate import lines. Will it still work? Who knows? So I think I bump up against the problem that I was having previously, which is that the pages need a default export, which is what this does here. I do so desperately want to do Babel dynamic imports, but I feel like that's going to break horribly. Babel dynamic import plugin. I need to have Babel RC that allows this dynamic import syntax, because it's what it's doing is that require.default, but the syntax of that I like a lot more. Boop, 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 boop. Come on then. Do I have a Babel RC file here? Nope. Babel config.js module exports like that, and then this is the string we put in there. Okay. So now this import syntax should compile. I don't have any envs on here, not envs, presets. So Webpack, or not Webpack, but Mix must be dynamically loading envs for the presets for this. Let's have a look how that's happening. Laravel Mix. Setup, tasks, nope. Plugins, components, React. Here we go. Preset. So that is dynamically appending preset config. I did to the plugin section. Oh, that's a new one I need. Export default from. Okay, but I don't want to do that right now. I actually want to export these as named exports. Navigation equals. So this isn't default exports, this is just named exports. So now I shouldn't need the default exports plugin. The default imports we obviously have to have for the sake of simplicity for inertia. We could do the pages as named exports. We could. Export default. Imported as navigation was not found. Okay, well, we're going to need these all the way through, and that's actually probably what it's complaining about, is that these were imported as default. So let's try that, and let's also switch the containers out. There we go. Chat is super quiet. Probably no one is here. That's what happens when you stream on a weekend. Okay. I may have had to restart that because it seemed to correct itself, but after the compilation error, I don't know if it did fully correct itself. So if this compiles totally now, then we should be good to go. Oof. What are all those JavaScript files? What is this? Are you gonna make me do it like this? I hate you. Okay. I need to apply these classes over here. I hate that this is so repetitive. I'm not really sure what to do about that. Probably give it a class like my own utility. I want to do that because I haven't done that with Tailwind in a while. So extracting components. I'm gonna have to do this as a bit of custom CSS. It's okay, it's not the end of the world. It does mean that I need to... Maybe let's do this as a class, so navlink. As a class I think is better. So we can do that. Login. Yeah, that's okay. Ugh, this isn't the worst. I'm going to be repeating it. Like I can see I'm repeating it 3 times here, so I may as well just extract that to a class of its own. I don't know if I'd want to put it like an inline thing or a style component or whatever. No, it's fine. It's fine like it is. It's cool. Chill. Okay, I've got my nav links. I've got a little bit of container stuff going on, so I can go to each of these pages. My home page looks the same. So the purpose of this app is to ask people 10 questions and help them remember what their answers were for these questions. So I guess the best way to record this would be to have a table in the database that is linked to a user that has a date column. And when you say reflect, it asks you for the dates, and it records your answers against the current, or against the date that you specify. So that you can record dates in the past, and so that I don't have to do any kind of like cutoff timestamp logic. Maybe I'll do the cutoff stuff so you can't really edit answers that you entered more than 2 weeks ago. You can still show the questions for that, but if you created the record more than 2 weeks ago, you can't edit it. Maybe I'll do something like that. That makes sense. So you can capture for in the past, as far in the past as you want, but you can't update those records, and you can see as far as you want in the past as well. But then the dashboard's going to show like aggregates and change over time and that kind of thing. Okay, that makes sense. So we need a database table. Let me go to this tab over here. Artisan make migration create answers table. Oof, that dog is really barking. Okay. Let's get rid of the usual nonsense. Big increments. Yes, okay. So table, I always forget how to specify a foreign key. I don't know if I actually want it to be linked, but I do want a like a big int. So big increments is unsigned big int. So I want unsigned big integer. There we go. That's what I want. And this is user ID. And so that'll be the user to which against which this is linked. Then we need table string. Do we want string? We want tiny int. Tiny int. Answer 1. No. Let's try and let's get the questions up. And then let's try and give the columns names that resemble the questions. Like this. Make it a little bit bigger. Answer quality of work. Default null. Oh, let's just make this nullable. Art fields nullable by default in Laravel. Migrations. Where are the links to this? Modifying columns. Nope. Creating columns. Where does it show me the modifiers? Nullable allows by default null values. So it is nullable. I'm getting confused because Adonis 4, which is what I've been spending a lot of time at Indie working with, has a very, very similar ORM, and nullable is not by default there. So I want null by default because I want people to be able to skip questions that they don't know the answers to of people they work with. So to give you an example, if Fred is looking for feedback and Fred, an engineer, is looking for feedback and Lee, a designer and content creator and all-round awesome person, is giving feedback on Fred's work, she might not know the quality of Fred's code or documentation, but she may have feedback on aspects of her interaction with Fred or his work that she does see. So she should be able to skip. Wow. Answer quality of handover. That's the importance of that second question. Quality of communication. Maybe not quality of. This field actually changed to have you been listening? Yes, that's much better. Have you been listening? So it was taking learning direction, but the idea is not. The idea is very specifically: are they listening to feedback and listening in general? Following through, sticking to your word. It's an important thing, right? Enjoyment. Oversight. Managing oversight. Quality of oversight. These are all quality of. Quality of work, quality of handover, communication. Being a good listener. Following through. Enjoying indie. What? Following through, enjoying indie. Overseeing work. Actually, being a mentor is the important thing there. No, it is overseeing work. Sorry, I am all over the place with these questions. Engaging in learning. Engaging in learning. Sharing knowledge. Cool. So, these are the answers. Now, they also need comments. So what is the field for this in Laravel? It's like big text, blob, text. Text. Okay. Okay, so each question can have a comment if it's whether it's the person reflecting or whether it's someone giving feedback about them, they can put a comment there regardless of what their answer is. The answers are rated 0, 1, or 2, where 0 is like not on my radar and 2 is on top of it. But then the comments can be things like what's gotten in the way, or if it's someone else giving feedback, is there something specific about this area or special about this area or important to remember about this area that you want the person to read. So there we go, that's good. Oh, we need a date. Table, no, we've got a date. No, not exactly. We've got created and updated app, but we need a date for which this is. So date time, is that what the field is for that? Yeah, date time. answered for. So created on, updated on, answered for. Again, can be a time. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to run this. Migrate. What? Tiny int? How do you not exist? Have I capitalized it wrong? Tiny int. Tiny integer. Terrible. Cool. So now I can make a feedback component. I should make just the fields in a fragment, and then these pages should contain the forms because they'll post differently based on whether you're answering for yourself or someone else, and to different controllers for that matter. So components, form. Let's rename this. Questions. Whee. Questions. Let's stick this inside a fragment just to remind us that that's what's actually going to happen. Reflect. Give feedback, and these must actually be inside forms. So I'll put that over there. Reflect. Okay. And then. Oof. What happened? Oh, I didn't export this from the facade. Yeah. Okay, so they both ask questions. Now, let's have a look again at how Inertia does form postings. Forms. React. Let's just do reflect first. Intense music. Okay, we have use state in here. And we should probably have. Let's get the migrations fields in here as well. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to have all of these things in here. It is enough just to say that. And oh, wait, handle change. Oh, also use callback. Not sure why that's not done, but anyway. Const on change is use callback. Let's make this a function because we're not. This is fine. Similarly, that's okay actually. That's okay. It's not the worst. actually do that. Although I don't like that at all. That looks very gross. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Cool. And then on submit. Again, we have to use callback for this because we don't want to overwrite this. Okay. Form not div. That is what, yes, that is what you suggest. So on submit, on change. So this needs to go into the questions component. Answer. We do have to do these though. Answer quality of work. Okay, we also need to use callback here. So what I'm doing here is use callback. No, not that. On next, I'm going to maintain an internal state that shows which that tries to remember which page this person is on. So const page set page is useState, and then this can just be quality of work. And then we need to have a pages array which lists what all of these are. So I'll just copy this and then do some multi-cursor foo. Okay. Oof, not React pages 0. And then we get the index of pages. Is pages index of page set page. Oh, set page pages. I want to have some kind of variable that shows me complete set is complete. Some kind of variable that I can use to tell when to show the okay, you're done, click somewhere else message. So if current is pages length -1, set is complete true, return, else increment the pages. And then if is complete, you want to show something else, you want to show this nonsense. You know what? Let me undo that change quickly. This is actually fine. Early exits for the win. So I'm just going to render what this page is directly here. I'll work on doing some better. Design for this. But for now, this is what I want to do. So answer. This is comment. Kid Burger just went live. Totally want to watch that stream. Kid Burger is this cool guy who scams scammers, essentially. But he's super funny. Okay, how do we do this? Reflect. Let's do some styles on here. Oh, class name. Flex col width full. There we go. Let's also do some styles on questions. Oh, that should totally be a utility. So like that, and then comment. There we go. And let's give these some styles as well. Border 1, border gray 500. Let's do border 2. What? Let's go back to reflect and change the styling a little bit. Items start. Yes. Okay, like that. And let's copy this style to the input as well. There we go. Okay, so gross, but functional. Basically me. Is that a good button? I don't know. Let's do some margin on these. And this border needs to be lighter as well. Whee! Active border gray 300. No, green 200. And outline none. So it's okay to remove the outline as long as you have some other kind of visual indicator. However, Tailwind's variants are not liking that because active is probably disabled by default. So let's look at the... Come on, scroll, you can do it. It's actually probably going to be in here, pseudo class variants. Active. So I need to enable that. Background color. What? What are the default variants? Okay. What are we changing here? Oh, border. Oh, sorry, I'm very confused here. Border color is enabled for hover and focus by default. Hover, focus, responsive, active. Fine. So we probably need to restart. Oh, probably need to restart this. So this will build a slightly different Tailwind CSS file thing. I think I saw from the instructions that custom styles should be above utilities, not below them. So I'm going to do that. Oof, that did not work. Why? Why did that not work? Public. Look at all of this nonsense. Why is all of this nonsense here? So where are my styles? Those utilities probably come after. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's not applied on there. Questions. Active, border green 200. Outline none. So border color is actually the thing that this should be for. And it's rebuilding. Very cool. I didn't know the watcher watched the Tailwind config. Cool. Saves me some time. It's not actually active. It's focus that I should be doing, which is fun. Focus. Yeah. Very cool. Okay. So next should cycle you through. What? No? That's not what that's supposed to do. Hmm. So that button is not actually supposed to be submitting. I kind of do need to track these, which I don't want to do. I'm basically duplicating this. Something like that. And then pull this through. Oh. Yeah, I kind of have to do this. I feel like I kind of have to do this. What is that function called? On is complete. That comes through over here. And set is complete, and also that. So we should be able to go through here until we're all the way at the end. What? Do I have an error at least? Sharing knowledge, then we should be complete. Current is greater or equal to pages.length, not page.length. Oh, come on, why did I close that? Oh, I gotta wait for it to build again. Dropped 0 frames though, super happy about that. How's the build going? Build is built. All done. What? Why are you just stopping? It's like a 1. If you are equal to that, greater than equal to, Overseeing way of being a mentor, engaged in learning, sharing knowledge after to show the complete thing. All done. However, it is not calling is on complete. Or if it is on complete, set on, sorry, on is complete. On complete. On complete. So you are setting this because you show the complete message. You show all done. However, this doesn't seem to be called. I really don't like that I'm duplicating the use states here, but you're all done, then what? Yes, 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 yes. So what? Show reflect. It's not printing this. Oh, is it having a problem with... Why don't we just do this here? Then we don't need this state. Makes total sense. Confound variable is complete. Well, that's because you don't need it anymore. Yes! Yes! Perfect. Okay. So, if we say, oh, let's make these number fields as well. Type. Do you need phone for this? I'm pretty sure you can do like you can use phone as the type. Pretty sure you can use phone as the type, which is absolute hacks. Oh no. What was the... What are the range of types? What are the range of types? Because I'm pretty sure you can use like a non-standard type. Action, name, target. What? Not form, input. Tell. I'm pretty sure you can use tell, and it's absolutely hacky. Oh, is it just Chrome that does it? think it might just be Chrome that does this, not Safari. Terrible. Oh well, this should just take numbers in. Maybe I should make this radio buttons instead. Maybe I should make this 3 radio buttons instead. So, radio value 0, 0. Let's put these in a span as well. One foo. Okay, and then just to validate this idea, oh, that one. What? I didn't realize, but these things are not changing. Even though their input name changes. That is frustrating. Okay. Maybe it's a React thing. If I do this and foo, there we go. Okay. But I'm not applying the onChange. onChange, oop. onChange, onChange. Let's put that over here. Okay. Oof! What broke? Why? What? Synthetic event reused. Null is not an object. E target name. Okay, let me go back to that form setup because maybe this is causing an issue. Maybe that's causing an issue. Oh. Okay, so that remembers it now. What was the issue? I suppose calling e.target .name inside this function, like it didn't like that it was being given to this function but only used in a nested function. Maybe that was the problem. I don't know. That seems weird. It seems like a React thing, not an inertia thing. But weird that maybe it's because of use callback that this is the case. Like if I delete this, and I do this kind of thing, so this is equivalent to what I was doing before, except without use callback. Target on a release nullified synthetic event. I can't explain to you why it doesn't like me doing it on the inside of set values. But it's working. Okay. So I changed my mind. I don't want to stream for 2 hours because there is 0 chat happening. And I feel quite bored because of that. So let me commit what I've got here and then call it a day. Add questions. Cool. That's it. I'm going to go. Thank you if you popped in. I don't think there's anyone watching at the moment. Yeah. If you are watching this on YouTube in a few days' time, let me know what you think about the event stuff and about the chat stuff, about this layout, and the background music volume as well. It's always good to hear that from the YouTube side of things. But that's it. Thanks for being here. I will see you either tomorrow or Tuesday, but I'll tweet. So follow me on Twitter at @AssertChris. There it is, bottom right, and then you'll see a tweet for when I'm going to go live.